Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Linchpin Comics live stream. I'm here with Nonsensical Rants, aka Becthel,
Good evening.
and I'm here with Randall Gary,
Being
and I'm also here with our newest writer, Ian McDonald.
Hello, and hail blue whale to all of you fucking deplorables out there.
And we're here to let Ian tell all you about some of the rather interesting ideas he has for his comics that he's wanting to write. So I'll take it away, Ian.
Before we start,
Okay.
may I?
Yeah.
Ian, I insist you open up a document very quickly to write down what you're about to say for us.
Okay, so, hand. Okay, so basically, Rayce here over the Skypes is that my idea of a comic is basically an anthology horror based off of the old EW Tales from the Crypt stories. And that would encompass a whole different bunch of stories and give me a whole range to basically write whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, it's a series of one-shots, basically. It's not an ongoing series, right?
This could be a very good opportunity for new artists. You could have a different artist each time to come on and show their talent.
This is true.
Yeah.
Get a lot of amateurs out there who want to get a little bit of a foot in to get their name out there just a little bit and get paid.
Absolutely. Because our operation right now is fairly small, and we only have so much. Every one of us only has so much time in the day to be able to work on the comics. And so we need a lot of we could use a lot of new blood.
You mean?
Hmm?
Was that it?
Yeah, basically that's the basic
Give us
overview.
give us a few examples of certain stories that you want to tell in this series of
Okay.
yours.
Okay, so they can either go from rain very serious, like one story guy, basically like a 30 Days of Night style vampire survival horror type one where the town is basically being besieged by a group of quote unquote vampires, and I say that because they're actually just a cult of crazy kids who want to be vampires, and they just act out and perform all the stereotypes you'd assume would come along with the vampires in modern fiction.
So Lost Boys, but no vampires and more gay,
Yes.
or less gay.
Yeah, basically. And and on the goofy side, I have one story I'm working on called The Attack of the Intergalactic Aggressive Pizza, where basically an anthropomorphic pizza comes to our dimension and hunts down teenagers to sort of turn them into human pizza so we can take them home to his family.
Oh, jeez. So it's like that guy from Spaceballs, if it was all about him. Pizza the
Yes.
Hut.
Yes.
That would be fairly amusing, I'm sure.
Then like we have a Scooby-Doo style chase scene in it, and they're running through the doors, and then like we have the pizza running towards the door in one panel, and then Nazis just burst through and start stomping, goose stepping on him, and then it's just a long line of them, and then they just leave and it's never brought up again.
Okay. So is this set in like the 1940s then, or just random Nazis?
Yeah, just Nazis randomly showing up out of nowhere for no discernible reason. Lol.
I don't know.
Is the point to make people laugh, or to teach a lesson, or is it just to present a series of unconnected stories that yeah?
Just sort of just sort of a series of just complete randomness and goofiness. But then again, that's the story that's meant to be random and goofy.
Yeah.
All right.
Just say that you shouldn't have it too random because, again, with the thing with the Nazis showing up out of nowhere, I mean, you can't really have anything in the story just completely out of nowhere.
Mad,
Whereas,
basically.
otherwise, you're basically in bizarro territory where things just happen for no reason, and that's not necessarily the best kind of storytelling.
Yeah, well, that one's still under development anyway, so that one's not necessarily set.
That's why I asked
So-
if it was set in Nazi Germany, because yeah, if you just have random Nazis goose stepping, and that's how your story ends, and there's no way to.
Well, that's
It's hard to suspend disbelief if there's just okay, yeah, the story ends by Deus ex machina Nazis killing the villain.
Well, that wasn't the ending. It was just a random event that happened.
Oh, okay. So okay, so is this kind of like a Mel Brooks style of story that you're wanting to tell with that one? Because yeah, Mel Brooks, a lot of that shit is just random and goofy, but it still works. So I mean, if that's the kind of thing you're trying to do with that could be pretty good.
Yeah, with that particular story, at least.
Yeah.
And then there was also the one I told you about in one stream where with the werewolves dancing to Ballroom Blitz.
Oh jeez, I forgot about that. Yeah, that could be another very Mel Brooksian sort of a funny thing, or Monty Python. Do you have any questions for Ian, Richard?
Nope.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Well, I don't want this to be a really short stream because
I didn't think. I thought you were just done with that topic, not done with the live stream. I do have other stuff to discuss.
Okay.
If you'd let me.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to screen share now. If you wouldn't mind putting that center stage.
All right.
Screen share. And there we go. Can everybody see what I'm showing just fine?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Here's a page I scanned out of a nifty little book called The DC Comics Guide to Writing Comics. The book itself is actually a very good read, and I recommend it. It shows a lot of different templates people used. This is the one I'm going to ask you all use. It's a very simple template. You just list the page, and you list in numbers what happens. The first thing you do when listing a number is you describe the scene and the people in it. Close on Barbara, she is uncomfortable. Gordon beyond, staring her way. Gordon, I'm not sure when it stopped being Jim. Barbara whirls, suddenly angry, and so on and so forth. You describe what's going on, then you put in dialogue. And that's it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't have to assume they're panels. Each one of these could be 2 panels or even 3 if an artist deems fit. But as it stands, it's just a good structure. So I'm going to put this image in the chat bar for the rest of you to look at and to save somewhere where you can look at it whenever you feel a desire to write. Any questions about this?
No.
Would you mind sharing that screenshot to me directly on Skype if you could?
I can do that. And I'm also going to send you this, just a simple guide. So what I want you guys to do is, before you even start writing scripts, just create a guide for anybody who's unfamiliar with the story. Teach them about the setting. So for an example, I just use Blade Runner. Story name, Blade Runner. Genre, style, or themes, cyberpunk, noir, and loss of humanity. Things that artists should keep in mind. Characters, Rick Deckard, physical description, personality description, so on and so forth. Then describe locations and any kind of unique terms, like replicant, robot made to look and act like a human. Keeping it very simple. So this is just an example. Please do it for any and all of your stories. so that artists can have something to work with. Essentially your own encyclopedia. Any objections?
Nope.
I think that clears up everything that I questioned about.
You had questions and this just answered all of them?
Yeah, just scripting format is what I mean.
I'm happy to have been of service.
Yes, thank you very much.
You can also, actually I should open that back up. Where's the screen share button? There's the screen share button. You can also use the table function to create a template for the artist to follow. Should we take a little break for somebody to relocate? Is that Randall?
I'm thinking it's Randall, and I went ahead and muted him.
Alrighty. You can also just go ahead and use the table template. What is, if you use Open Broadcast, I'm sorry, not Open Broadcast Software, LibreOffice Writer, which is just a free version of Word, you can create tables with as many rows and columns as you like. So if it's just a page like this, and then you can simply stretch them out. You should be able to, there we go. Change their size as you deem fit. And yeah, just keep whatever panel layout you want. But it's a little bit more advanced to make them the sizes you actually like. So yeah, that's all she wrote. As far as I'm concerned.
All right. When you guys are situated, you guys can both Randall and Ian. You can both unmute yourselves because I can't unmute you. That's the weird thing about Google Hangouts. You can mute people, but you can't unmute them.
I didn't know that. I reckon they may have both left.
No, they're still here. And I think Ian was actually the one who had to relocate because I muted Randall, and I was still hearing all that stuff in the background, as well as crackling.
Forgive me if I'm not too flamboyant today. I'm running on 1 hour of sleep from last night.
Oh, okay.
Less than an hour.
I don't really have a lot else to ask Ian because he pretty much told us what he wanted to do. And what else do you want to accomplish by being part of Linchpin Comics? What other things do you want to bring to the table?
Are you speaking to Ian?
Yes.
That's basically it. Just want to write.
And you don't have anything else other than the anthology comics that you want to? You don't have any other ideas brewing for an ongoing series, perhaps, or a mini series?
Not at the moment.
I think the addition of just some short comedic thrillers is a fine idea.
Oh, yeah. Especially if it's going back and forth between the really serious type of comic and Mel Brooksian Monty Python's humorous comic.
Yes, yes. Rayce, do you mind if I share what I shared before the stream?
What's that?
About my art lessons and how I'll be recruiting new artists because
yes,
you have
of course,
too many
yes.
writers and no artists.
Yeah.
Earlier we discussed what I could do with this project and what kind of time I could devote to it. I can't devote enough time to pencil 13 different, I'm exaggerating, 5 different comic books at least a month. Well, no, it's closer to 10 because some of them are 4 issues. Yeah, 10 comic books a month and be the editor of all of them and do all of the shit I want to do. Excuse my language. So, I asked Rayce if he'd like me to just be an artist and for the next few months while I'm creating some drawing lessons on my other YouTube channel, if he'd want me to continue being an artist and do some concept art and covers only, just a little bit every week, or if he'd want me to stay on as editor. So as of now, I'm just an editor now. But anybody listening or any person in the group who wants to learn a little bit about comic book penciling, lessons start in January. January 1st, to be in fact.
And that's right.
That's
Because
right.
now that's the only thing in the chain that we do not have now is the pencil. We have an inker, colorist, letterist, and of course
Yeah,
plenty of
we need
writers.
more. We need more inkers and colorists too. Honestly, coloring might be the easiest part. If you're okay with some simpler coloring, anybody who's wanting, actually, yeah, any of you could learn the basic comic book coloring digitally with a mouse. It can be done with a mouse just fine. It can get the
I've
point
got like
across.
anyways, I got like a basic version of Photoshop, so maybe that could help. You know, in any way if you
There's
like.
there's better software out there
Oh,
that's
okay.
free. Photoshop is for editing photos. It is, some people can do really great stuff on it, but it's not very efficient and time saving in regards to coloring or illustrating.
I see. I see. Wait a minute.
I recommend an actual Illustrator software. Some of them are free, including Krita, which I personally prefer. As far as free ones go, I have a paid illustration software that I use. But Krita, Krita, I adore it. If you want to learn to color comics, just download some manga or a black and white comic if you can find one, or free coloring books, damn near. Recommend going with some black and white manga and just coloring it yourself.
Sounds like a plan. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So in addition to writing, you would also like to get involved in the coloring side of things? Is that what you're saying, Randall?
It depends on whether it's traditionally or digitally. Like I'm good with either one, but you know, just the formatting would be.
Digitally would probably be best. Getting expensive scanners for each person would be a huge drain.
Yeah, we mainly want to we want to minimize our overhead with this, and the more things we do digitally, the less we have to spend on the physical good that would require us to draw in IRL.
Poor quality scans of
All
pencil work
right.
don't really matter because all the pencil work is going to be inked and colored over. You won't see anything. So I can pencil
Okay,
traditionally, and so can most people. And it won't be a problem. Like I said, I'm running on 1 hour of sleep. Excuse me for being a little... Yeah.
So you're looking for either a pencil or an inker.
Pencilers and inkers and colorists.
Oh, okay. I'm good in, I guess, any area, but I guess mainly inking, if that's, you know,
Okay.
what you're, you know.
I can direct you to some good ones.
I mean, I could with color, but, you know, I'm not good with shading, so, you know.
Alright. Anything else, Ian, Rayce?
Nope.
Nothing comes to mind at the moment. We seem to have pretty much all our bases covered. We've introduced people to Ian. He's told us what he wants to have going for us, and we've put out the put the call out for bringing in more artists.
Good talk.
All right. Thank you all for watching. This has been a rather short stream, but it doesn't really need to be longer than it is. Thanks you all for listening. Be sure to click all the buttons, click all the links, and stay tuned for more updates.